In the One Ring, councils represent a formal social event of extraordinary importance. The rules are not meant to be applied to every verbal exchange between players and NPCs. Those can be handled with normal skill rolls and role-playing. To qualify as a council, a meeting must be a formal gathering where the stakes are high and where the players stand to gain or lose something valuable. To explain the rules, I will run through an example of a council using custom character and council sheets that can be found through a link in the description. Ingold, Elahir, and Fastred have spied a force of orcs settling in the ruins of Fornost, and fear that they are planning to use it as a base from which to strike out at the lands to the south. Our heroes have luckily run into an encampment of rangers, with Gilrain among them in the North Downs while looking for help. It is here where we will pick up the story. The first step of a council requires the heroes to decide what they are hoping to gain from the council, how they intend to get it, and what they are willing to give or sacrifice in return. The company hopes that Gilrain will send a force of rangers to drive the orcs out of Fornost. The heroes can only offer to help in the coming battle. The lore master will then set a resistance value based on the company's aim. A resistance of 3 for a reasonable request, 6 for a bold request, or 9 for an outrageous request. The rangers are only a small group at this camp, and are currently packing up in order to travel to Rivendell. What's more, they are also tired and weakened from a recent skirmish. This will make the company's request a bold one, so the resistance will be set at 6. To achieve their goal, the company must achieve a number of successful skill rolls equal to or greater than the resistance rating. Once the resistance is set, the council can begin. One player must be chosen as the spokesperson for the company. He or she will introduce the company and make either an awe, courtesy, or riddle roll. The result of this roll will set the time limit, or number of attempts that the company has to achieve their request. If the introduction roll fails, then the time limit is only set to 3. If the roll is a success, the time limit is set to 4 plus 1 for every success icon rolled. As a ranger, Ingold will be a good choice for a spokesperson for this particular council, and he introduces Elahir and Fastred with a courtesy roll. Because of his affiliation with Gilrain, I will allow Ingold to gain 1d on this introduction. His roll is successful, and he also rolled 1 success icon, which means the time limit is set to 5. Now, you may have noticed that the resistance is set at 6, and our company only has 5 skill rolls to attempt to convince Gilrain to send a force against the orcs in Fornost. That means we will need to roll some superior successes if we're to have even a chance of gaining a favorable outcome. Talk about high stakes. Now comes the main bulk of the council, the interaction. Any players can speak now to try and persuade the audience of the council. They do this with a mixture of role-playing and a number of skill rolls equal to the time limit in an attempt to accumulate enough successes to match or exceed the resistance rating. Player skill rolls can be modified by good role-playing or the attitude of their audience. If the audience is reluctant to help, the players lose 1d, or if the audience is friendly and wants to help, the player rolls gain an extra 1d. For this council, I'm going to say that while Gilrain is friendly towards Ingold, she is reluctant to send her men to Fornost, so there will be no bonus or penalty for this council. Some good skills to use in councils are Enhearten, Insight, Persuade, Riddle, and Song. Hope can also be spent during councils to gain an extra dice. Remember to pay attention to your character's distinctive features, which may be able to help you become inspired. I'll come back to that in a bit. The members of the company take turns voicing their reasons for wanting Gilrain's help. Ingold tries to enhearten her first. Ingold gains a regular success on his first roll. That means the company has 1 success of the 6 they need. However, they only have 4 rolls left to make that happen. Ingold's next 2 rolls result in 1 more success and a failure. The time limit is now reduced to 2, and the company still needs to gain 4 successes. Elahir adds his voice to the council using Persuade. He will also spend a point of hope and call upon his cultural blessing of Elven skill to grant him an immediate success without even the need to roll. However, it is still important to roll his d6s in case he gains any superior successes. No luck there, but that is still 1 regular success. The company has only 1 roll left to try to gain 3 successes. Things are looking pretty dire. But now, the slow-kindled courage of his race stirred him, and Fastred, shy hobbit of the Shire, steps forward to speak. His insight rolls are favored, and he will also spend a point of hope to gain 1d on his roll. In addition to that, he will also call upon his distinctive feature of Honorable to become inspired as he pledges his fealty to Gilrain. This means Fastred gains 2d from spending hope instead of just 1. His roll is successful, and he gains 2 superior successes as well. This means the company finished the council with 6 successes, meeting the resistance. Gilrain is convinced, and will aid the company in their attempt to drive the orcs from Fornost. There are a few other ways that council could end. If the company does not meet the resistance, they might just fail and be refused what they were asking for. Or they might be granted a success with woe. This result might mean that they gain less from the council than they had hoped, or perhaps the company might have to pay a price in the form of treasure or the performing of some challenging task before their audience will help them. The company might even have made an enemy during the council. The price doesn't necessarily need to be made immediately clear. The last possibility for a council is that it ends in disaster. This can happen from very unsuccessful rolls, especially if there was a failure during the introduction. When a council ends in disaster, the company are likely to be seen as a threat by their audience, who might attack or imprison the company, or drive them out of their land. That's all for now. Thanks for watching this updated version of running councils in the One Ring. My updated combat video is also out of date, so I'll have to make a new one of those at some point, but who knows when I'll get around to that. In the meantime, I believe the rest of my videos all have the correct rules. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and have a great day.